Okay, now the recovery is already. We're gonna begin our first session with a reflectional video. This is a short video. I like this video because it's a good way, this is a good message to begin this adventure that I call. I'm gonna share my screen with you in order to show the video. Can you see and can you listen the video? Guys?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. What do you think about this short video? Tell me, what do you think?
Sometimes we have some limitations in any other form. But in any kind of limitation we have to take advantage of it and try to do our best. I mean, from it.
Yes, yes. And Josue, what do you think about this short video? What is your opinion about the short video? Don't feel afraid to participate, Josue. This is very important, your participation, but don't feel afraid. Don't be shy. Okay, no matter how, just to keep moving forward. This is the most important point in this video. No matter how, just to keep moving. If you don't can run, if you can run, if you can walk, try to find a way. Sometimes people say that phonetic is a very difficult course. It's a little bit tricky, but just we need to practice, just we need to pay attention, and at the end, we're gonna get nice results. This is the main purpose of this course, of this video, sorry. You can try to do no matter how, but just how keep moving forward. This is the message for this video. Okay, now I'm gonna share my screen again in order to show our agenda for today and important information about this course. Here we have, we're gonna put that. Our course, phonology and phonetics. Wait a moment, because sometimes I have some issues, connections. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Our course, phonology and phonetics. Here we have some picture related to our class, the content that we're going to study. Here we have the agenda. The first point, welcome and teacher presentation. Then we are going to discuss the class rules, the reflection. Yeah, that now we already did the reflection. Here we have, then we have the evaluation. the final project. We're going to discuss about our final project. Today, we're going to talk about in class about phonetics, in specific about definition. We're going to talk about the articulatory system, and also we are going to talk about consonant sounds. These will be the topics for today. First, we have an important information about the course. These are the rules that we should follow with this course. I'm going to mention some specific details in Spanish about these rules. As you know, the class will be on Sunday de 8 de la mañana a 10 de la mañana. Van a ser nuestras clases, mínimo 2 horas. Esto es lo que el reglamento pues nos está pidiendo, mínimo 2 horas, máximo 4. Y trabajaremos con Google Meet, tal cual como estamos en este momento. Pasaremos la lista de asistencia, tanto al inicio como al final de la clase. Siempre deben de tener su cámara abierta, ¿okay? Deben de tener su cámara abierta todo el tiempo. As I mentioned before, tenemos que grabar las clases, todas las sesiones deben de ser grabadas y se debe cumplir pues con todas las fechas establecidas. El estudiante debe participar durante la clase, pueden realizar aportes, preguntas y siempre deben tener su cámara abierta. Otra parte importante que, ¿verdad? Tenemos, siempre se debe explicar lo que son las tareas antes de finalizar la clase. Si ustedes tienen alguna pregunta, me la pueden hacer sin ningún problema, estoy para explicarles. Si el estudiante no atiende las clases virtuales, ¿verdad? O este momento, la clase sincrónica, entonces, pues no le puedo habilitar en la plataforma para que pueda ver la información. Siempre debemos estar vestidos adecuadamente, tanto ustedes como yo, debemos estar pues vestidos adecuadamente. Recuerden que estas grabaciones van a estar colgadas o posteadas en el canal de YouTube del colegio, del instituto, y por ende, entonces pues debemos siempre estar apropiadamente vestidos, acorde pues a que estamos como si estuviéramos en el salón de clase. La asistencia, como ustedes saben, son 4 sesiones. Tenemos que la asistencia le representa a usted un 10% de la nota. Si por alguna cosa usted tiene que faltar en alguna de las sesiones, debe ser justificada para que se le pueda pues tomar las asignaciones de ese día. This is about the rules of the class. Siempre deben tener la cámara abierta. Recuerden vestir apropiadamente. Si usted tiene preguntas, ahí hay una manito. En su entorno allí, cerca del micrófono, hay una manito. Usted la puede levantar y usted puede hacer preguntas, ¿ok? Les voy a pedir, sí, muy amablemente, que se puedan conectar unos 2, 3 minutos antes de las 8 de la mañana, 5 minutitos antes de las 8 de la mañana, porque a las 8 de la mañana, en puntual, ¿verdad? En punto, entonces empezamos nuestras clases. We're going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning every Sunday. Please be on time. Okay, now here in that part, we have some information about our classes and our activities. In the synchronic session, as I mentioned before, this will be on Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Today, November 29, December 6, December 13, and December 20. Here we have the deadline for the activities. Activity 1, Activity 2, and Forum 1. It will be from November 29 to December 5. The activity 3 and 4 and the forum 2 will be open from November 6 to December 12. You're going to have a test, a quiz on platform. This quiz will be able from November 6 to December 12. In this week, you're going to have a test. And the activity 5, 6, and the forum 3 will be open from November 13 from December 13 to December 20. Here we have a mistake. From December 13 to December 20. Here we have the final project. The final project, The final project is already in the platform. I'm gonna suggest some options to develop the final project. The final project will be open from December 13 to December 20, but it is already scheduled and open in the platform. Now I wanted to explain about the final project. Remember to attend all classes and to participate. If you can present any of your assignment on time, you will have 3 days to do, but you will lose your punctuality ponderation. You're going to lose this point in punctuality. No more of 3 days to present your assignments. Now here we have the evaluation, how this course will be evaluated. Here we have the workshop 1, 3, 5, and 6, and the class participation represent the 30% of your course. The assignment 2 and 4 and the midterm or the quiz, and the photos, you have the 25%. The attendance have the 10%, and the final exam have the 35%. These are the activities that we're going to develop in the course, and here are the percentage. Here, this is the information about our final exam or our final project. I'm going to explain since this day, because this is important that you have a clear idea what you should do in your final exam. As I mentioned before, the final exam is already open in order you can work week by week. Most of the time, the final project just we do in the last session or in the last week. But in this case, you can go through this material week by week in order to prepare this final exam. The instruction for this final exam, you should record a video in which you explain the 25 consonant sounds we have seen in class. These include the stop sounds, there are 6, the fricative sound, there are 9, the affricate sounds, there are 2, the nasal sounds, there are 3, the liquid sound, there are 2, the glide sound, there are 2. In your explanation, you should include point of articulation, manner of articulation, voicing, and 3 examples of each sound in initial, medial, or final position. Here we have an example. The sound M, the point of articulation is bilabial. The voicing is voiced. The manner of articulation is nasal. And here we have the 3 examples, matter, amazing, and calm. You should highlight where is the sound in your word in initial, medial, and final position. Your presentation should be supported by visual aids such as posters or flashcards. You should show your face, specifically your lips. This is a very important part. I need to see your lips throughout the entire video because this is the most important part in phonetics. If you have any situation while uploading your video on platform, please send it to vero3119@hotmail.com until December 20. I'm gonna explain this part in Spanish here because it's important and to be clear. A veces cuando vamos a subir videos tenemos algunos problemitas porque pueden ser muy pesados. Yo les recomiendo que ustedes puedan transformarlo en un enlace, ya sea que lo suban a su Drive, a su Google Drive, o si manejan OneDrive o cualquiera otro que ustedes conozcan, y puedan habilitarlo para que la persona que tenga el enlace lo pueda ver y me puedan nada más enviar el enlace. porque así es muchísimo más fácil para ustedes, no tienen que estar sufriendo si el video les carga o no les carga. Deben enviarlo a la plataforma. Si por alguna cosa ustedes no lo pueden enviar a la plataforma, entonces lo van a enviar a mi correo, que ya lo estoy dejando aquí. Como les decía, el Final Project está habilitado para que usted lo vaya trabajando por semana. Usted se puede ir grabando un pedacito todas las semanas a partir de la otra semana que empezamos a ver ese tema, y usted puede grabarse en las 2 o 3 semanas, cosa que al final ya usted tenga su video y lo que tenga que hacer a lo último es solamente agregarle la última parte del tema. Okay, this is about the final project. Do you have any question, please?
Teacher, I wanna know how many minutes do we need to record the video?
Okay, in this video, the time is not important, okay? Doesn't matter how the time you will be using the video. The important here is the information. You can use probably, for example, 4 minutes in order to cover all the information, but can be another student can use 5 minutes. The important here is the information. Remember, you should explain the 25 consonant sounds and the example, the point of articulation, and the manner of articulation. Do you have another question, or are you clear with this information?
That's unclear.
Okay, thank you. Another question about the final?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now, we're gonna begin with our class today. Do you have any question about the course information, about your evaluation? Are you clear?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I'm gonna wait a minute in order to check the attendance. Here we have Anya and Josue. Okay. Now, we're going to start with our class today with a topic that we're going to review. I'm going to make some questions during the class. Remember, you should participate to get your points in this part of your evaluation. Here we have the topic, phonology. Phonology is a branch of linguistics, but phonology is divided in two. Can you read, please, the branch of phonology?
Phonetics and phonemics.
Okay, very good. What do you think is phonetics?
Mm,
Is
Is that
Phonetics is how we produce or how we reproduce the sound of each, in this case, sound. It could be the written way of each sound.
Okay, very good. And Josue, what do you think is phonetic? What phonetic does mean?
first for me? I think about the sounds and the stress or the accent that we give to the word.
Okay, very good. You mentioned an important part. Phonetics is about sounds. Here in phonetic, we don't talk about letters or any written information about letters. We talk about sounds. Phonetics, yes, you are so clear. Phonetics is related to the production and the articulation. Phonetics is divided in acoustic, auditory, and articulatory. What do you think is acoustic? What acoustic doesn't mean in phonetics? Tell me, don't feel afraid. What do you think, or what does acoustic means?
It comes from audition.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, are so close. An auditory, what do you think is auditory?
it's what we can listen.
Yes. An articulatory,
The, the accent.
okay. Now I'm going to explain with more details. Acoustic, as you see here, is related to the properties. The property of the sounds. Auditory, as you mentioned before, is related to the perception. And the articulatory is related to the articulation. Now, we're going to present with more details. What is phonetics? Is the science or study of speech sounds and their production, transmissions, and reception, and their analysis, classification, and transcription. Now I ask you again, what is phonetic for you? Can you explain what is phonetic in your words?
Mm,
Good morning.
Morning.
I think phonetic is the science that studies the language about a specific language. For example, in this case, we are learning English, and it it time try to explain and teach the English sounds in a better and easy way, I think.
Okay, okay, yes. Related is specifically related with the production, transmission, and reception, okay? We're gonna see how this occur. Phonetic fall into the three main types. As you see before, we have auditory, we have acoustic, and we have articulatory. What this icon represent for you?
the first for me, it's about the icon is the about volume.
Yeah,
The
another opinion?
loud,
Oh, sorry, continue.
the loud and the high as volume.
Okay, thank you. Another opinion about this icon? When you see this icon, what do you think?
All these three are very connected. Um, I can pronounce a word if I don't know how I can articulate or how would be the acoustic phonetics. And there's the problem with, well, it is not a problem, but it is a big difference that we have in Spanish with English. Is that in English we have words, and if you see the word, it's not the same way that we can pronounce it. Since in Spanish we have a word and it's exactly the way that we pronounce it. So in order to have the best pronunciation, we have to use these three ways that we have here: the auditory, articulator, and the acoustic. So we can have the exactly, well, not exactly because we are not native, but the closest pronunciation.
Okay, okay, thank you. Yes, now here we have a graphic. This is related with the information that you are checking. Here we have a graphic, the three domain as phonetic. Here we can observe articulation. Here in that part, we see the acoustics. And in this part, we see the audition. If you analyze, if you see this graphic, and if you observe these symbols, are the same, yes or no?
Yes, yes. With a graphic, I can understand better.
Yes, yes. In the articulation, what the articulation represent for you?
Uh, Articulation depends on the speaker. First, we need to listen a speaker, and the second is a person who are listening to that first person. The
Okay.
acoustic means the transmission of the other articulation. How the second speaker listen the first speaker. The addition is the way, the manner that we perceive
Yes,
the word.
yes, exactly, exactly. It's in that way. Yes, you are so smart, class. Yes, very good. Here we have the auditory phonetics. Auditory phonetics focus on how listeners perceive the sound of language. As you explained before, this is how the people can perceive the sounds, how they can receive, how we can receive any kind of sounds. The acoustics, the acoustic phonetics look at the physical properties of sound waves. There are like waves, such as frequencies. This is the way. And the last one, the articulatory phonetic, is how we can articulate sounds, how we can produce sounds. Articulatory phonetic will with how speech sounds are produced. Some things that are examined in the articulatory phonetics are the different type of air streams used in the speech productions and how the vocal tract adjusts to make different speech sounds. Look that, do you know what is the air streams? This word, do you know? Do what does this word means? Do you know? What is airstream?
I don't know, teacher.
Okay. Any of you have an idea about these words?
Which one? Uh, uh,
Airstreams.
Airstreams.
Yes.
Um, the the airstreams could be the space that we have or the movement that we have from the tongue, could be like the pass of the sound. I mean that we
Yeah.
produce. I think it's the
Yes.
track or the pass or when, the way that we put the tongue or the movement that we have in our mouth. In that way, we are going to produce a different sound.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Thank you. In phonetic, the airstream mechanism is the method by which the air flow is created in the vocal tract. Along with phonetation and articulation, it is one of the three main components of a speech production. As I mentioned before, this is related with the production of the sound. Their string mechanism is mandatory for sound production and constitute the third part of this process, which is called initiator. Here we have the type of airstream. Uh, as you mentioned, also, here we have some organs that are related with the sounds production. The organ generator, the airstream, is called the initiator. And there are three initiators used in spoken human language. Can you read, please, the number one or the first one?
The organ generated the airstream is called the initiator, and there are three initiators used in spoken human languages. The,
Okay,
dia-
number one. Mm-hmm.
the diagram together with the ribs, lungs, pulmonic mechanism, the glottis,
Wait a moment. Wait a moment. Here, can you read the first part again?
the diaphragm, together with
Okay.
the ribs and lungs.
Okay, this is the first part where the sound begin in the ribs and lungs. This is the pulmonic mechanism. The second one, please.
The glottalic mechanisms, and the tongue lingual or velaric mechanisms.
Okay, thank you. The second type is the glottis, and this is a glottalic mechanism as you read, sorry, and the tone. This is the third type, okay? And this is lingual or velaric mechanism. These part are very related with the sound because, for example, this organ take part in the sounds production. If we move our tongue in different parts of our mouth, they interrupt the air fluency and hearing these parts when we create sounds. Here we have the articulatory system. To produce sounds, it's very important to know, okay, the different organs that are related in this important part. If we don't know the organs that take part in the articulatory system, we can have problems in order to produce with a cure way the different sounds. Here we have a diagram with some parts. Then I'm going to describe each by one by one a little bit. Here we have the lips, as you see in colors, the lips. Then we have the tips. In this part we have the alveolar ridge. Then we have the palate. In that part, the palate. Now we have the balloon here. This is our tongue, this part. And in that part, we have the vocal cords or the vocal folds. Now, I'm gonna describe a little bit one by one, and then we're going to make some questions, please, to pay attention in order to participate. But in this class, I don't have problem you can participate. You are so smart, I know. Okay, here we have the articulatory systems. As I mentioned before, all of the body parts that we use to produce speech sounds are called the articulatory systems. Everybody needs to understand the articulatory systems, words, so to learn how they produce sounds accurately. Here we have another picture about the different organs. Now we're going to study one by one. First, we're going to begin to the lungs. The lungs are where sounds productions begin. When we breathe, air moves in and out of these two back-like organs in our chest. When we speak, our lungs push air up, and this passes the vocal cord, and through the rest of the vocal tract, the space in the throat, mouth, and nose is where the sound is produced. Remember, the most important point about the lungs, that is where the sounds begins, the sounds production begin. This is the more important information about the lungs. Now we have the vocal cords. The vocal cords also are called or known as vocal folds. There are two small membranes in throat that produce the sound of the voice. When the vocal cords are stretched, tight, and close together, they vibrate than 100 times per second. Imagine, just in one sound, the vocal cords can vibrate more than 100 times per second in order to produce the sound. Here we have representations and examples, a picture about the vocal folds or vocal cords. Also, we have an important part called pharynx. The pharynx is a funnel-shaped muscle of 8-12 centimeters in length. The pharyngeal cavity is divided in the oropharynx, the nasopharynx, pharynx, and the laryngopharynx. As you can see in the picture, here is the pharynx, and this is the nasopharynx. Here, the oropharynx, and in this part, the laryngopharynx. These are the pharynx. Now, we have the epiglottis. Do you know how in Spanish we say the epiglottis? How people in Spanish call the epiglottis?
I think it's epiglottis. I don't know.
Okay. This organ, its primary function is to cover the entrance to the larynx during swallowing, this preventing food from entering the trachea. The epiglottis is a leaf-like, which is attached to the pharynx and to the root of the tongue. This is so close to the tongue and the pharynx. This is a part. This is in the beginning of the tongue, and this is the last part of the pharynx, the epiglottis. Now we have the uvula. The uvula is a small fleshy flap of tissue that hangs in the back of the mouth, and it is the extension of the soft palate. Sounds articulate with the back of the tongue and the uvula are called uvular. In Spanish, well, do you know how people call this part of our body?
Uvula.
And how he had another name that people mention?
La campanita.
La campanita, yes, very good. This is the campanita when the people mention the campanita inside our mouth. This is the uvula, okay? In English and in Spanish is the uvula, saying the real name. The uvula, this is in the part in the back of the mouth, and this is the extension of the soft palate. When we produce sounds that are related with the back of the tongue and the uvula, these sounds are called uvular. Then we're gonna have an explanation about these sounds, this kind of sounds. Now here we have the soft and the hard palate. First, we can observe in the picture, here we have the soft palate, and in this part, we have the hard palate. The soft palate is called velum tube. Velum. It is a thin sheet composed of muscle, tissues, blood, vessels, and glands. Its main function is to separate the nasal cavity from the oral cavity. It separates the nose from the mouth. This is its primary function, separate the nasal cavity from the oral cavity. And the hard palate is often simple. It is called palate. This is this part. This is the roof of the mouth. If you touch with the tip of your tongue, the roof of your mouth, you can feel that this is very hard. You can do in this moment, touch with the tip of your tongue, the roof of your mouth. How do you feel that part?
Soft.
The roof?
The roof of your mouth.
Yes, the roof of your mouth. How do you feel?
Not that soft.
This is the hard part of the mouth. Remember, we have two. The soft is behind the hard part. The soft is the velum. This is in the back. In the roof, but in the back. And the hard, this is like in the middle of your mouth. And it can feel very, very hard. For this, he received this name, hard palate. Okay, now we have the alveolar ridge. The alveolar ridge is it is behind, specifically behind the upper teeth. You can touch at this moment with the tongue, with the tip of your tongue, touch behind your upper teeth. This is the alveolar ridge. The sounds produced with the tongue touching these parts are called alveolar. Do you do the exercise? How do you feel the alveolar ridge?
It's hard to.
Yes. This is behind our upper teeth, sorry. Now we have the nasal cavity. Here in phonetic, we don't talk about our nose. We talk about nasal cavity. The nose or nasal cavity is divided into cavities, The nostrils. This cavity receives the name of nostrils, okay? And they are divided by the central bone known as a septum. This is the septum here, and these are the nostrils. Here in front we have the two holes. These are called the nostrils. The roof of the nasal cavity is very narrow, whereas the floor is smooth and wide. This is about the nasal cavity. Now we have the teeth and lips. Could you read, please, the first definitions about the teeth?
The teeth, particularly the various upper teeth, are very important for the production of many consonants, like the initial sounds in the English words this and thing.
Okay, very good. This is about the teeth that are very important for the production of many consonants, like the initial sounds in the English word this and things. And another participant, could you read the second definition, please?
The lips, which are fleshy folds consisting of tissue, blood, vessels, glands, nerve, and muscles, assist in the formation of both vowel and consonants. Consonants, right? Yeah.
Yes, consonants. Yes, thank you. The lips are very important parts too. There are fleshy folds consisting of tissue, blood vessels, glands, nerves, and muscles that assist in the formation of both vowels and consonant sounds. Both of them are very important in the production of sounds. The tips and the lips. Here we have a nice picture. And the last part is the tongue. The tongue is the most mobile articulator organ and can take up an almost limitless number of positions. You can move your tongue as you prefer, as you want. But this mobile is very important because you can move in front, back, upper, in order to produce different sounds. For this reason, the tone is very important in the production of sounds. Okay, now class. We're going to make a little bit summary, but with questions. I'm going to make questions. Wait a moment, I can see you. Okay. Remember, you should open your can, please, because this is part of the rules. Okay, I have questions for any of you. What is phonetics for you? What do you remember about the definition of phonetics?
Phonetic study the sound that people make specifically in one language or many languages. It's
Okay.
a study, a scientific study of the sound production.
Okay, very good. Now, I have another question. What do you remember of what is auditory phonetics? Auditory phonetics. A ver, please, guys. Another participant, Josue, is very participating in class, but I would like to listen another participant. What do you think is auditory phonetics? What do you remember about auditory phonetics?
It's from the ear, what we hear. What it is the message that we receive from the other person when the other person is talking or
Okay,
is
yes,
producing the sound.
yes. And acoustic, what is acoustic? What do you remember about acoustic phonetics?
The production.
Acoustic, are you sure?
I know. I remember like the transmission.
Yes, yes. And the articulatory, now it's time to the articulatory.
Now this I think is the production in our mouth.
Yes, yes. Yaritzel and Gabriel, I would like to listen you, please. Okay. Could you mention, guys, some organs that take part in the production of sounds? Some organs that you remember?
Yes, the lungs, our mouth, and the nasal cavity.
Okay, yes, very good, thank you. What else? What else? Do you remember another organs that take part or that are part of the articulatory systems? What about the tips, the lips? What
The
about the
teeth,
roof?
the lips, the
Uh-huh.
uvula. Those are the organs, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. We have the vocal cords. We
yeah.
have um the roof.
Josue? Yes, Josue. Do you remember some other organs?
The ribs, the hard palate,
Uh,
the soft palate.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
forgot that.
Don't worry about. Don't feel shy. Yes, very good. The soft, the hard palate, the uvula, the pharynx. Yes, those are part of the articulatory system. Very good. Who remember what are nostrils? Who remember what are nostrils?
No idea.
There are in the nasal cavity. Do you remember that I mentioned that I have two holes in our nose?
Yes.
Yes. These two holes are called nostrils. In
Nostril.
phonetic, we don't say holes, we say nostrils, okay? These two holes that we have here in our nose. These are the nostrils, okay? And do you remember where is the bone called septum?
The what?
The
The both.
bone called septum? No? This is
No.
the septum.
Ah, okay.
Okay, this is the septum. This is the bone that divide the two nostrils. Here is the septum in our body, in our nose. Okay, very good.
Yes.
Now, sorry?
No, I said yes. It's hard because these concepts are they are not new, but it's something that we don't usually and have it as a normal conversation. So it's hard to remember all what I studied when I was in university.
Yes, 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 yes. Are you have all the reason. Yes, are topics that we know, but we don't use in normal way or every day. We talk about this kind of organs. Okay, now I'm going to continue showing the material. Now I'm gonna close my can again in order to present. Oh, sorry. Here. What do you think about this picture? What do you think this picture represents?
The position to form the sound about each letter or consonant or a vowel, I
Okay,
think.
another opinion about this picture? Very good. The first one.
Uh, it represents how the organs produce the sounds in different ways.
Okay, what else?
It
Another opinion.
represents the articulation of each consonant.
Yes, very good. Yes, you are so clear. This picture represents the articulation or the place where each sound is produced. Remember, in phonetics, we don't talk about letters, we talk about sounds. In this case, all of these represent sounds. We have bilabial, labiodental, interdental, alveolar, postalveolar, palatal, velar, and glottal. All of these are the manners of articulation of the different sounds. Today, just we're going to review at the first part of this topic. In our second lesson, we're going to discuss more about the place and manner of articulation, and we're gonna start talking about sound by sound. Here, today we have the consonant sound. We're gonna begin this course with the consonant sound. Could you read, please?
Consonants are produced by pushing air up from the lungs and out through the mouth and or nose. Airflow is disrupted by obstructions made by various combinations of vocal articulator movement so that audible friction is produced.
Yes, thank you. Do you remember when we were talking about the airstream that we mentioned that the organs participate in the airstream that interrupt the sound? Here is when this part is relevant. The airflow is disrupted by the obstructions made by various combination of vocal articulator movement. For example, our tongue move in the high, move to the upper part of our mouth, move in back in our mouth. This movement interrupt the airflow, and in this moment is when the sound is produced. In this case, were we are talking about consonant sounds. Then in the last class, we're going to discuss a little bit about the vowel sounds. Here we have the description of the consonant sounds. We have that they are described in terms of voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. Today, just we're going to study about voicing. In the next class, we're going to study about place and manner, and we start with the consonant sound. Do you know what is voicing? What do you think about voicing?
Voices, voice or voice or voicing. What?
Huh? Yes, are so close.
Okay. I let me see if I can remember that.
Don't worry, we are learning together here.
Voicing is how I think these sounds are divided in different by the way that we put our tongue or the way the movement we do, they are divided into different how can I say, like place or position or something. So for each of them they have a name, and it can vibrate or they they have a name. So that that's what I think is the production of the sound of each sound of each letter or consonant sound.
Of each sound. Okay, yes,
Mm.
very good. You are clear. What else? Another opinion about voicing. What do you remember about voicing? Okay, here we have the definition of voicing. Voicing refers to the presence or absence of vocal vibration during a speech sound production. Is we have vibration or we don't have vibration? This is voicing. Do you know that exist some sounds that have vibration? Do you remember some sounds that have vibration when we produce?
Yes, the B sound. I
Mhm.
think.
Yes. Do you know, please, can open your can again. Do you know what is the best way to review if some sound has vibration or no? Do you know what is the best way to review that or to check that in our body?
Yes, touch or throat.
Yes, yes. You
I
can put,
remember.
yes, you can put two of your finger inside, or sorry, inside, no, in your throat in order to touch if the sound that you are producing vibrate or not produce vibration. You can touch. Remember all the time. Just put two of your finger in your throat. If you feel that it vibrates, this is part of the voicing. Do you remember how it's called if it vibrate? It's produced vibration.
Voice,
Boys,
Yes, yes, voice. And if don't produce vibration,
voiceless.
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 yes, you are so smart, guys. Very good. Excellent. Now we're gonna back again to the ETT. As you know, voicing refer to the vibration or absence of vibration. Here we have the type of voicing. In a voice sound, there is a vocal fold, vibration, and audible buzzing sound. Here we have a voice sound. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one's, and this one. Could you produce this sound, please?
Yes.
And
This one.
Which one?
Can you see my screen?
Van. Van.
Yes.
Okay, just
Mm,
the sound, okay? Just the sound. Just
mm,
the sound.
mm.
Okay. Vibrate or not vibrate?
It vibrates.
Okay. Very good. This one,
This.
just the sound, remember.
Okay. Yeah, it vibrates.
This one,
It also vibrates.
Yes.
vibrate or not vibrate?
Yes.
It does.
Okay, very good. This one,
It does too.
okay. This one,
No, it doesn't. That is plosive. Okay.
yes or no?
That it vibrates, I don't think.
That itself,
I think yes, it does. A little bit,
yes, yes.
but
This
yes.
one,
Done. Mm, yes. Mm,
okay.
mm,
This one,
cut. Mm, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it.
this one,
Uh,
Yes.
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 yes. Okay, here.
Yes.
Yes or no? I can hear you.
Er, yes. I think.
This one,
Yes. Yes.
yes, yes. Okay, this one,
Look.
Yeah, it does.
Look.
It
Yes,
vibrates.
it does. Not. It doesn't.
okay, okay. This one,
Yes.
Um,
Mm,
Mother. Yes.
this one,
yes, it does too.
mm,
Yes.
okay, and this one. Good.
Yes.
Okay, all of these sounds that produce vibration, they are called voice sounds, as you mentioned before. Voice sounds. Remember, voice sound. If vibrate, there are voice. If not vibrate, are voiceless. Here we have the voiceless. Here, practice with this sound, please. Vibrate or not vibrate?
Not. It doesn't.
Yes. This one?
Voiceless.
Yes, voiceless. This one?
Voice.
doesn't.
Voiceless. This one?
It's voiceless. It's soft.
This one?
It
No
doesn't.
vibration. Voiceless.
Yes, it doesn't. Yes. This one?
It doesn't. Less. It doesn't. It's mute.
Okay, this one?
Sí, yo también, papi.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't vibrate or does vibrate?
No, not doesn't.
Okay, and this one? Make the sound, okay?
I don't know. It's like
It doesn't.
Okay, yes, it doesn't. And this one.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, he, he, yes.
Are you sure?
Hello. I'm confused.
Okay.
it's
It
always
doesn't
like
produce vibration, okay? It doesn't produce vibration. Doesn't vibrate. This word.
Ah, okay.
Yes. This is an aspirate word, okay? Doesn't vibrate. It doesn't vibrate. Okay? Here we have a little bit practice in order to remember about voice and voiceless. Okay? You should tell me if the P is voice or voiceless. If the B is voice or voiceless. Voiceless, sorry. The
the
sound.
first one is voiceless.
Okay,
It's
this one.
voiceless. P and
The
B.
first one is
P and
voiceless.
B.
And this one?
Voiceless, T voiceless, and the D is voice.
Yes, very good. This one?
Mm, 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 mm.
Do you remember?
Voice.
Voice and voiceless, I think.
Okay, yes.
Let's
Yes,
see.
yes, yes. These are voice and these are voiceless. Here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
what about this one?
that is voiced and voiceless.
Okay, yes, very good. What about this one?
Voiceless and no. Voiceless and voiced.
Okay, yes, very good. Voiceless, voice. What about this one?
Voice and voiceless.
Yes, voice here, voiceless in this one. And this one?
Voiceless and voice. I
Yes, 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 voiceless and voice. Here, do you remember you have these sounds? These are voiceless. And here we have the another, here, this is voice. Okay, very good. You are clear. Just can be with a remember about this part, refers to this topic. You're gonna be so clear with this information. Okay, now we're gonna stop again to share. Do you have any question to the until here, until this part? Any doubt about this part of the class? No? Are you clear?
And yes, but
It is hard
yes, at the
to,
moment.
it's hard to produce or, but later we are going to be, wait.
Yes, you can continue. Phonetic could be a little bit tricky, but just we should practice. Practice and practice in order to recognize or to remember or to reinforce what is the sound, what is another sound. When we practice and we review all the information now at the end, I know that we're gonna be more clear with this information. Another question, do you have any question? No? Or yes?
No.
Okay. Now we're going to show you the assignments for next class, because at the end I want to show that in the platform some information, some important details in the platform. Here we have the assignments. In your model, you can get your model in platform now. In a few minutes, I'm going to check to show you where you can find this information. I put in the model all of these links in order you can get videos, you can get gains to practice, to get extra information about this class. You have some YouTube video, you have some quizzes, you have some gains too, in order to practice, in order you can get more information or extra information to be clear with this, all this material that we studied today. Now we have our first assignment for today. Our first assignment, this is a so easy activity. Just you must write with your own word the definition of this question. You should answer this question. There are 5 questions. What is phonetic? Mention the 3 types of phonetics. What is the acoustic phonetics? What is the auditory phonetics? And what is the articulatory phonetics? These are very easy, the topic that we discussed here in the class. Also remember, all this information that we study here in class, do you have in your model, okay? You have in your model. But you can review again the record of this session on YouTube in the Instituto Nueva Luz channel, okay? The record of this class. The second activity that you have is define this term. These terms are about the articulatory system organ. You can search more about, you can use the information that you have in your model. You can write with your own word if you want, but you must describe the 8 words or the 8 terms about the articulatory systems. And in this part, you have labeled the different parts in this phonological diagram. What is the name of this part? What is the name of this part? What is the name? You should write the name of this part. Also, you have a forum, the forum number 1. The forum number 1 is in the platform. In a few minutes, I want to show where is the forum. In order to answer, you should see a video, you should watch a video in order to develop or to comment the first forum. Okay, a ver. Do you have any question, guys, about the homeworks?
What do we need to do with the picture, teacher? There, I saw a picture.
Okay, in the
With
picture you should
different
label.
parts.
Yes, in the picture you should label or you should write the name of the different parts or the different organs that take part in the articulatory systems.
Okay.
If, for example, where is the mouth, where is the nasal cavity, you should write or you should label the name of each of the part of the articulatory system. Okay, guys, another question. Yoo-hoo, hello. Are you clear with the information about the homeworks?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now